Hey everybody, welcome back. Spooky Movie Month continues. So, taking a look at 3 movies today. Today's the 9th, right? So, or I say the 10th. I really don't know. 9th or 10th. I've watched 6 movies so far, and as mentioned in the previous video, the nights where too tired to watch a movie or taking a break from the movie, I've been watching X-Files and The Simpsons. One thing with The Simpsons, I've been watching Treehouse. I realized I hadn't seen any of them past like season 10 or so. Like Simpsons have been on for so long that there's like just, I don't know how many episodes. There's like 25 episodes a season or something. I think they're over 30 seasons now. And I used to consider myself like a Simpsons expert, but I've only seen the first 9 seasons, and that's because those are the ones that I grew up with. So it was on TV, and I watched it. And then when they started coming out on like DVD, I bought those seasons. And I think I've seen most of season 10, but that's pretty much it. So I'm really not a Simpsons expert anymore. I've only seen like a third of the series, which really isn't very much in the grand scheme of things. So I've been watching Treehouse into the teens. I think I'm up to like Treehouse 17 or 18 or something, and I'm getting a kick out of them. The last one I watched, Homer, was a take on the Blob, I think. I think that may have been like 16 or 17. Anyways, so I have these movies here, and this was a first-time watch. The Brood I've seen before, and this is Dark Water, and I've seen Dark Water a few times. But it's been a while since I've watched the original. The last Dark Water I watched happened to be the remake with Jennifer Connelly. So let's take a look at Alice, Sweet Alice first. I'll go ahead and take these here and put these here for now. I have the slip cover for this. So you have 2. This is I think it says newly commissioned art, at least I imagine it is. And I assume this is original theatrical art, or at least one of the posters around the time. If you reverse this, you have this image here. And I think this was the limited edition. Yeah, limited edition contents. I don't know if a standard edition has come out for this one yet. So, how many discs are here? Just one disc. Seems to be pretty standard for Arrow. I think they separate the Blu-rays now. And we have a little booklet. I haven't even looked at this. I just got this. When did I get this? A couple months ago when I was in the States, and I saved it for Spooky Movie Month. What is this? This looks like Cure to me, but that's not Cure. I don't know what that is. Well, we'll find out at some point. I say Cure because of the cross here. So I have a little booklet, not bad. Dedicated to Alfred Soul, he's the director. Pretty creepy. This is my first time thumbing through this, and the aunt here gives a really entertaining performance. Her shrieks and screams and facial expressions are really animated. There's a pretty baby there. Well, I think it didn't go very well for her. That's actually right on the back of the box. So, spoiler alert, Brooke Shields dies Yeah, see, not too good. Right away, and I think this must have been, this would have been one of Brooke Shields. Whose murder is this? Hard for me to remember. Either way, it didn't work out for this person either. There she is again. Things didn't work out for Brooke Shields in this. But she wasn't Brooke Shields at the time. I'm pretty sure that she was just, child actor. I may be wrong about that. And then Brooke Shields, I don't know if blew up in stardom or something. I don't really know. But they kind of rebranded this movie. It's had like multiple titles. Yeah, it says it right here. So 3 versions via seamless branching. Communion, that's the original. And then Alice, Sweet Alice is the theatrical. And Holy Terror re-release. And I really don't know the differences between them. I just ended up watching the original. And I want to say maybe Holy Terror is like a TV cut or something along those lines. I want to say they gave Brooke Shields not top billing, but they brought to people's attention that she's in this movie. Like a young Brooke Shields meets an untimely end in this religious-themed proto-slasher for excellence from director Alfred Soul. So that's kind of surprising to me, because if you go into this movie, I guess if you were under the impression like, oh, this is a Brooke Shields movie, she's going to be in it throughout the whole thing, and then 10 minutes into the movie the character's dead, you'd be like, you feel a little cheated. So they just let you know up front that she dies right away. But if you didn't know that, you'd be somewhat, I assume that the director wanted to be shocked a little bit by that character's demise, but you're just reading it on the back of the box. So spoiler alert, she dies. Next we have Dark Water, and this came out, I think, in the early aughts, right? Came out after Ring. There was like a surge of creepy ghost kid J.horror movies. 2002, yeah. I think Ring came out in the late 90s, right? So there's Ring, Ju-on, this movie, this Kurosawa movie called Seance, which is really good. I'd love for that to get a release. And there's probably a lot more. Those are the ones that kind of bubbled up to the top. I imagine they just kept cranking these types of movies out. But I like this one a lot. The cinematography especially. And it's a creepy ghost story in general. And, oh, how about that? Look at this. We got Raincoat Kid, creepy Raincoat Kid. I don't have a picture. Well, I kind of saw it right when I looked at the booklet. It was creepy Raincoat Kid. He's wearing a mask. So nice little unexpected connection between these movies if you just want to watch movies with creepy kids in raincoats. But yeah, this movie definitely holds up. What was strange though, I saw this right around the time it came out. Like, I was really big into these movies. I was trying to watch anything I could. I mentioned many videos ago about a video store I used to rent from called Videoport, and someone there was on top of Japanese horror movies. They got me into like Takashi Miike and all the aforementioned J-horror movies here, Suicide Club and Battle Royale. There's just a lot of cool stuff coming out of Japan at the time, and this video store was just getting them all. So when this came out, it was so murky, like the quality. I don't even know if it was like an official release, to be honest. But kind of gave it a different type of vibe when you're watching it, especially something like The Ring, especially, which is this grainy videotape. And then I watched it again before the remake came out, and then since then I've watched like the remake twice, I'm pretty sure, and this would have been like the third time I've seen the original. But what happened was, when I was watching this, like the content in the remake started to merge with the original. So there are certain parts of the movie I'm watching. I'm waiting for certain things to happen. Like, oh yeah, this is when the tank gets drained or whatever. And then I was like, wait a minute, is that even in this movie, or am I thinking of the remake? But yeah, the remake's good too. I think the remake's it's on Disney here in Canada, but the remake's worth checking out. But the original absolutely holds up. So if you want to see the reversible arts, this is the original theatrical art here. And there's like the nearly commission art. Oh, look out, something's lurking there. So yeah, I like the original art here, so that's why I flipped it. And I bought this. There's some damage here on the spine. Like a year ago, I want to say, I didn't get a chance to watch it during last year's Spooky Movie Month, so I actually held on to it. Held off watching it for another year, because it's one of those things, like, I've seen the movie, doesn't really make a difference. So that's one of the first movies I watched during the Spooky Movie Month, because again, it's just been sitting on the shelf and I've been anticipating rewatching it. And this transfer looked really great. This is easily the best I've seen the movie look. And then finally we have, last but certainly not least, we have The Brood. And this is more of a psychological horror film. So it's a Cronenberg movie. And when did this come out? Mid-80s, I assume. It's hard to read this, huh? At least this tiny text in the bottom here. Actually, I don't see the original release date anywhere. 1979? That can't be right. This came out in 1979? I don't believe that. Well, either way. Maybe it did come out like in 1979. I'm going to have to look that up. But we have a worried father attempts to uncover controversial psychologist's unconventional therapy techniques on his institutionalized wife amidst a series of horrific murders that seem to be targeting those closest to him. Hey, you know what? I'm looking at this now. This has creepy kids in it too. They're not traditional kids. I don't think they have raincoats. They have more like snowsuits. This is a nice trilogy of movies here to watch for Spooky Movie Month if you're looking for like an unconventional theme and try to run through the movies. And yeah, that's a happy surprise there. Who's the actor in this? I forget his name. He's in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, at least like the 1976 version. And he plays the lead. I'm trying to think of the actor's name that plays the wife here, but she's amazing. This shot here, it's not identical, but there's like a kind of like a mid close up, and the lighting, and what she's about to unveil to her husband. It's such a, hair standing on, your arms get all goosebumpy, like what's going on here? And then you're just like, oh my goodness. So this movie is phenomenal. And there's a scene in this movie where it's in like a kindergarten classroom, and I'm just thinking those child actors, I don't think they'd be like legitimately traumatized by what's unfolding, but it's a really disturbing scene, especially from like a kid's perspective. So all three of these movies are great. I really would recommend all three of these for sure. Alice v. Alice was a really nice surprise. I really wasn't expecting much from it. I wasn't sure what to expect. But if you like slasher films, this predates Halloween, but it's not as like Black Christmas came out before this movie, and something like Peeping Tom. But you can definitely see a lot of influence with this movie and other horror slashers that come out, and surprisingly something like Seven too, which I wasn't really anticipating as an influence. And Dark Water's easily one of the best J-horror movies from the early aughts, and The Brood is to me a classic. So if you haven't seen any of these and you want something like really out there, I would definitely watch The Brood. The Brood is something else and probably unlike anything you've seen, whilst these two you've probably seen movies similar to it. They're just really well done. So thanks for watching.